Hey everybody, welcome back to the second half of Loving the Skin I'm In. I am your host who's going to lead this hour, Demetra K. And I'm sitting here with Donovan throwing rocks and hiding his hands, Sadiq. We are going to jump right into it. As you see, the headline says, Free Cyntoia Brown with a question mark. Okay, so who is Cyntoia Brown? Cyntoia Brown is a young lady who was tried and convicted for murder. What was she convicted of? Who was she convicted of murdering? Okay, so let me give you a little background. At the time, in 2004, I believe it was, or a little bit before that, she was 16 years old. Now, they were calling her back then a teenage prostitute. It has now been said and deemed that there is no such thing as a child prostitute. So now we're going to call her a sex slave or a sex worker. So she had a pimp, or whatever the case was. It was, pimping around. He's 24, she's 16. She escaped from him is what she says. And as she was escaping, she was looking for a ride to go to another city to go, as she said, prostitute or to sell sex. And so on her way to doing that, she met a white man. I think it was at a Sonic. He came up to her and pretty much said how much. And she said, they bargained at $150. So he was taking her home. They were going to do whatever it is they were going to do. And so as she gets home with him, she notices that, he has these guns and everything. As they got in the bed, she said he got aggressive with her, but they got in the bed and she got scared. She saw him reaching for the nightstand and she thought he was reaching for his gun. And so she pulled out her gun and shot him in the back of the head. Now, during that crime, not only did she shoot him in the back of the head, she stole his wallet and the pants that the wallet was in. I don't know why she stole the pants. The guns and his truck. And a few days later, she sort of kind of turned herself in. So here we are in 2017. The hashtag is trending Free Cyntoia Brown. Now this hashtag has been used. And I guess it started with Rihanna, then Kim Kardashian used it, T.I. And a whole lot of other people started using this hashtag. Now they were giving the narrative, and I'm paraphrasing, but this is sort of what it sounded like. How, what a travesty. This is so messed up. Cyntoia Brown was a sex slave, and heroically she killed her captive, or the man who bought sex from her heroically. And so they're trying to deem her as this hero. And so I kept, victim. And so I started seeing hero, because that's what they were saying. She killed her captive. Violent, vindicated herself and all this other stuff. And so I'm like, okay, well, let me see what this is about. So I took the time, and there's a documentary called Me Facing Life. That's what it's called, about her and what she was going through. Now, ultimately, she was sentenced to a life sentence, and she'll be eligible for parole when she's about 69 years old. So in about 45 years or so, she'll be eligible for parole. And so here you have it. All these celebrities and people, I saw it turned it on my timeline, different people, Free Cyntoia Brown. And so, like I said, I went and did my research, watched the documentary. It's pretty, enlightening. Plus read a couple of articles that it just entailed who she was. And so when you read the article and you see the documentary, which were her own words, not like the person put the documentary together, what she might have said. These are her own words. In fact, she said, I executed him. She said, I murdered him.
And she's saying that when she was younger.
Right? Yeah, during the trial. This documentary was going on during the trial.
So for the listeners, please remember, this is a 16-year-old girl at the time.
At the time, she's 16 years old. Now, so during the trial, too, they were saying that they, being her defense, were trying to say that, she had these problems. Her mom drank a bunch of alcohol with her and all this other stuff. Syndrome, but if you watch the documentary, it's called Me Facing Life. I mean, please watch it. It's very enlightening. This girl is very intelligent.
Yeah.
In fact, her IQ ranked at 127, so she's part of the 90% tile of the smartest people. So she's, and you can ascertain that by just watching her, and you can tell too that she's been around before. Not like she's just very experienced. Not your average 16-year-old who's kind of green. And so,
and is this a black girl?
She's mixed. Yeah, she's mixed. So what happened was, her mother, who was a white woman, I guess, baby daddy or whoever he was at the time, was a black man. But so she tried to raise the Cyntoia up until the time she was like 6 months or so. But then a friend of hers, she took it over to a friend of hers house, and then that lady ended up adopting a black lady. So she wasn't involved in her life from the time she was about 6 months or so. And so during the defense, they were trying to say, oh, she had a bad upbringing. Her mom, which is true, was suicidal. Her grandmother was suicidal. This is the biological side. A couple of 2 or 3 aunties killed themselves. The granddaddy killed himself. There's just
a lot of mental illness and stuff in the house.
But she wasn't raised by her. She was raised by, another woman who was good to her for what it seemed like. That was her daughter. And so here you have this hashtag. And so I put it up on my page, and I said, basically, for those of you guys who are allowing Kim Kardashian and all these other people to turn you into sheeple, I posted the links. Do your homework. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying I think she deserves life. I don't think she deserves life. I don't. I think that and the judge had the option to try her as a child or try her as an adult.
He chose to try her as an adult.
Chose to try her as an adult.
If you're under 18, you're not an adult. So.
Right. Well, she was 16 at the time, so he chose to try her as an adult. I believe that the jury was predominantly white. Predominantly white, and so she got found guilty on all the charges: premeditated murder in the first degree, all these things. And so, she actually tried to get an appeal, but it didn't work. They declined her appeal or whatever. So now there's this petition going around trying to get Trump to give her a clemency, and the governor as well to to say, you know what, enough is enough, because they said now if she was charged, if this crime took place today, she wouldn't be charged as an adult because of the sex crimes and stuff. They would have labeled her a sex victim opposed to a prostitute, because they said there's no such thing as a child prostitute. And so my opinion is this. I don't think that she should have been tried as an adult. It's clearly she had a lot of issues. She had a log. You should watch it. It's pretty interesting. A log of all the men she slept with, almost about 40 men.
I think I've seen that.
And these men she liked, and these men she did this. These men raped her. 3 of the men were family members.
Yeah, she has good recall.
Yeah, so it was just like all these things that this girl had been through. She had a troubled past as well.
Right, but intelligent girl. There's no doubt about that. But no matter, and there's a lot of kids out there that are intelligent, but look at the decisions that they make. All it takes is one bad decision and your life is drastically altered.
Well, yeah, and then it sounds like 2. And I'm not trying to blame her mom, the mom that did raise her. But when they're interviewing Cyntoia, she's talking and she says, well, a lot of times I would try to go talk to my mom. And mom was like, girl, not right now. Go somewhere. I'm busy. That kind of thing. And so also, Cyntoia had accused her father, or I guess it was her stepfather at this point, of raping her. But then she recanted. But she did say that he was, physically abusive to her. But she recanted the rape charge. But then the mom was like, I don't know, so I'm divorcing him. And so, that.
And she took the side of her child.
She did what she should have. Because she thought, I don't believe you. I think he really did do something to her. But then the mom gets into another relationship. And then Cyntoia was like, I did everything I could to try to run him off.
Yeah, she couldn't deal with the new stepfather.
Yeah, and so... Yeah, the mom, I'm not saying it's the mom's fault, but the mom ends up with a new boyfriend. And, some of us women get a new dude and we don't see nothing else. Right. And so then at that point, the girl was like, well, do you, Mom? I'm going to get out here. And the guy, so the man she ended up with, the 24-year-old that was pimping her, was very just cruel to her. His name was Cutthroat. Now, right before she met him, that was his name, Cutthroat. Right before she met him, he had just shot and paralyzed a bar owner in an altercation or something like that. And so he was on the run when they got together, which is why they were staying in and out of the motels. And so she said, they would have sex sometimes, and then oftentimes he would rape her, and they, would say, you were born to be a whore, and I'm going to put you out there because that's what you're born to do, and I need a new truck, I need, these 26 rims, and you're going to get it for me. And so she said there was times that he would choke her till she would just pass out, just all kind of stuff he would do to her. And that's why she left to go, as she said, prostitute in a different town.
And keep the money for herself.
Now, okay, so who was the guy that she ended up killing? He, Johnny Allen was his name, was a 43-year-old prominent real estate agent in the area. Just happened to be cruising for little girls. Yes, girl, yeah. Right. So... And one of the articles that I read, they were saying, well, we can't allow her to demonize him. He was a good dude. He was a pillar in the community. But I'm like...
Wait, you're trolling for underage girls and you're a good dude.
Right. And so then there's a couple of other women that came out and said, well, yeah, he invited me back to his house too. It kind of got creeped out. And one lady said, I went back to his house and he pretty much took it, raped me. And I never talked about it up until this point. So, here they are, they being the powers that be, the system or whatever, and his friends painting this dude to be this good guy. But it's like, you guys are totally glossing over the fact that he was sleeping or statutory raping
and
a child,
also engaging in an illegal act of prostitution.
Right, but so I think that played a big role in why she got sentenced as an adult and got life because of who he was. Like, we can't let this good white man go and have his reputation tarnished because at the end of the day she murdered him, which she did. But then it's like, you picked her up. You picked up this child. You didn't pick up this adult. You picked up this child and you offered her $150 to go have sex with her. Now, I'm not saying she should be absolved of any of the blame, but
again, she's still a minor. And I wanted to bring that up. What message does that send to young people when there's no redeemable qualities as a young person? If you're going to convict this girl and lock her up, if you're underage and you're telling this person, that's basically what the system's telling her. You have no redeemable qualities. You ain't nothing but trash.
Exactly.
You're going to lock you up. That's the wrong message to send our young people. Everybody makes mistakes.
Right.
And the time to make those mistakes is when you are a young person.
Right. And, so far, too, she's gotten a degree and she's working on another degree. She's an advocate for a lot of other people, victims. And, so she's done well. But she's 16. I mean, when we were 16, we weren't perfect, although I never did anything like that. But, I mean, like you said, at 16, you're just coming into your own, and to throw the key away on somebody who was 16. I mean,
any young person.
Yeah, everybody is capable of redemption of saying, well, hey, I
made a mistake.
And I'm not that, because you're not that person. You're not the 16-year-old person you were that you are now that you're 30. Which
well,
is
and I know there's going to be a lot of women out there and people saying, well, what about the victim? Okay, we understand the victim.
Right, nobody's saying the victim, anything bad about him.
But again, when we talk about mistakes, and I'm going to use this as an example, it might be a bad example. I don't give a damn. But it's an example nonetheless. How many women out there, and I know people, my baby ain't no mistake, but you got pregnant unexpectedly.
Let's say you didn't have the baby on purpose.
Right. Unexpectedly. Was your life over? You made a mistake. You dealt with the mistake. And you moved on from that, and you probably went on and did great things.
Right, and you love the baby and all of that other stuff.
It's the same thing. So to say that this young person has no redeeming qualities is ridiculous. Right.
Well, that's what the system said. I mean, there's really just through this child, and I guess for a lot of people, it's hard to hear that. Oh, she's just a child, because no, she actually admitted to murdering this guy.
But again, as a child, it doesn't matter.
Right, because at first she tried to say it was self-defense, but if you guys go watch the video, Me Doing Life, that's the name of it. If you go see the video, you will actually see, because they showed the guy murdered in the bed. The cat is getting out. And he was actually lying on his hands like this, kind of. So, just forensically speaking, there's no way he could have been reaching for the gun.
Right.
So she lied. She basically murdered the guy, and she said that
but
to a
then
neighbor.
Again, you're talking to a 16-year-old child.
I agree, but this is where I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit. Okay. Or maybe a lot. Because when I was 16, never once did I prostitute, or as some people say, being put into the sex worker state of mind or whatever, nor would I ever think about killing somebody for money. And so, is she the average 16-year-old? I don't think so.
No, not the average 16-year-old. But what I'm saying is, any statement she made during that, I'm not absolving her for the crime at all. Whatever, she did what she did. There's no doubt, forensically, she's done.
She did that.
But what I'm saying is, put yourself in the mind of, when we're 16. To me, it doesn't matter what she says at 16 years old, because, number one, you're not in a position to make that decision. And we know you did this, you did that. She lied about, of course, she's 16.
Right.
16. Doesn't make it right.
And then, she was doing drugs as well. That came up when they actually arrested her. She was high. Now, this is the part, because I took a lot of notes. I didn't bring them. But I took a lot of notes, and one of the things that kind of really got to me is the detectives. Two big brothers. And they, were detectives for quite a while. But during her interrogation, they pretty much said to her, well, tell us what we need to know, and then we'll give you a deal. And so she asked them she said that, I was talking to the psychologist.
Yeah.
They said they were going to give me a deal. And then, so the psychiatrist was like, they said that. And so they looked in her defense, and they did say that.
But the Supreme Court says that they can lie.
Yeah, but her defense attorney made a good point. He had one of the detectives on the stand.
This is very interesting.
He's like, you've been doing this for 27 years, and he says yes, and he says, so you know exactly what to say. You know there's a 16-year-old child,
16-year-old
right, and
person.
you did what you had to do to get the story. But he says, could have some of that have been her just okay? Well, let me tell them what they want to hear, because you're going to cut me a deal. And then he says, well, yeah, So I thought the impression that I got is these brothers sold her out.
Okay.
They didn't. I know they had a job to do, but they didn't do her any favors.
And also remember this: for those of you that you want to be thugs out there and thugettes, and whatever else, mob moms and all that other stuff.
Moms.
Yeah, you mob moms.
Married to the mob.
No, they're not. Because black women don't get married.
Stop it.
These mob moms that are bringing in these, bastardized children, which is the correct term. I know people don't want to hear that, but when you're not married and you have kids, they're bastardized. Remember this: in the system of law, the law can do whatever they need to do to extract a story. And it is their job to close cases as quickly, not quickly, but, as expeditiously as possible. So if they can get a confession out of this person and close the case, it's like the Kanika Jenkins case. Closed. Case closed.
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, it has to be legal.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is basically sometimes there is no justice.
Right. Yeah. It has to be legal, and I don't blame her attorneys for trying to hold them to the. You guys lied to the girls, which you did.
Which is perfectly okay.
Yeah, no. I mean, because did she testify to her detriment because she thought you were going to give her a deal? I mean, you got to look, because that kind of stuff, you got to look at that as coercion is what it is. It is on the border of coercion.
No, I agree with you. But what do I always say, D? You got all these kids watching that they can quote to you The Fast and the Furious. They can quote to you Friday.
Force 48.
Yeah, whatever the deal is. When you are being charged by the state for a crime, the best thing you can do for yourself
is shut your mouth.
Is remain silent.
And that's another thing they brought up too. They said that she didn't, and you could tell she didn't after they were talking to her, that she didn't really understand the Miranda rights. When they Mirandized her, she didn't really understand what that meant.
Right, and number two, she's a minor.
Right.
So number three, the officer should not have talked to her until her guardian or parent was present.
They said she was out legal representation for a while.
Yeah.
It took her a while to get legal representation.
So obviously this was just been handled very, very
right. And so again, to me, listen, the blame is on her. That she took somebody's life. Plain and simple, the blame is on her. But I also wonder, what was this judge thinking? I mean, maybe he knew the guy. I don't know. But you could have tried her as a minor, but you tried her as an adult.
Yeah, this was tried in Tennessee.
I mean, hell, you preach it to the choir.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not... They have a different...
Right.
I mean, we're right now, good example, to show you where we're at in history right now. Judge Roy Moore, pedophile, whatever the deal is. Allegedly, whatever. But most likely he is.
Right, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, allegedly, so we don't get sued. Allegedly, guy out here doing all this stuff. That is okay. But let it be a black person or something, they're throwing the book at you. So they have like a double standard down in the South where things are a little bit different.
And oddly enough, too, they're saying that Tennessee has one of the best, how can I say this, stances and legal system now when it comes to sex trafficking of children.
Yes.
So they're very
progressive
on that and trying to stop it. So they said they're leading all the states, which is weird. They also said that this documentary has caused, it's instrumental in them to changing the law, and that there's no such thing as a child prostitute, but she can be and probably is a sex worker sold in the sex slave trade.
And before we forget, if you're interested in that story, please check out the link below, and it's going to be there. You can look into that. But since we're talking about it, let's look at a little clip of Cyntoia Brown and her talking what's going on in jail. Take a look.
So what happened to your hair?
You know, I cut my hair.
Why'd you do that?
Because I don't want to be pretty no more.
Why not?
Because it don't do nothing but cause you trouble. Think of what got me into this mess.
Yeah? What got you?
Being attractive. And what do you attract? Crazy people.
So, what do you see as similarities between all the different men who have been in your life, besides the fact that they're men? How are they similar? How are they different?
Selfish. That's what they're similar. They're all selfish. They do whatever to get what they want. It makes them happy. They don't think about others' happiness. And everything that they do, they feel they're justified. They don't ever accept fault. That's what my dad said. He said in his letter, he goes home and sleeps at night knowing that he did his best.
What did Johnny want from you?
Sex, for money. No. They all wanted acceptance and admiration. Hell yeah. That's what they wanted. My dad wanted to be admired because of the hard work he put in driving trucks and making that money and supplying us with the life that we lived. Cutthroat. He wanted to be admired by everyone else in the street because I remember that one time he said that I was going to work and get him this truck. It was a Suburban on some 26s. He wanted admiration. He wanted somebody to respect him. He wanted people to admire him. That's, oh my God. And then you got Johnny. What did he say? I want a woman to make love with me with desire. Remember I told you that part? Desire. He wants to be accepted. Hell yeah. And those are my problems.
How are they your problems?
Because I always want to be accepted. For 18 years. That's part of the reason I cut my hair off and shave my eyebrows off. It's kind of like to prove to myself that I'm beautiful without all that, you know what I mean? And I'm worth more than that.
And did you feel that?
Yeah. Every now and then I feel stupid for cutting all my hair off and shaving my eyebrows, but basically, yeah. I think I've been, for the past 2 years, working on making a personality. I've never had one before.
And that's Miss Cyntoia Brown, and you can take what you want from that. But again, I want to tell everybody she was convicted as a minor, which she should not have been tried as a joke.
As an adult.
Right.
Yeah, as an adult.
But she was a minor at the time.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, like I said, the judge had full discretion into saying, you know what, let's try her as a minor. But no, he listened to her. She gave a little bit of testimony at the prelim or whatever the case was, but he decided to go ahead and do it. It's a cold blow. But then, you know, as I'm watching this, I'm thinking there's so many stories within this. For one, the story that comes to mind is us people, black people. The minute we get that yellow placard in the mail in the envelope, I ain't going no damn jury duty. Shit, I got shit to do. And what they paying me $15 a day?
Well, okay, and that's an example. The minute they have a election for a judge,
right? So that's what I'm saying. So I get it if you don't want to participate into the federal election, the national election, whatever. Because I get it. I'm with you on that one. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to stuff, yes, that affects us. Mm-hmm. Like you said, the judges. We need to pay attention to who is on the bench. If you live in a city or a neighborhood or a town, whatever the case is, and you know that your people are getting sold up the river for, you know, very small infractions, go check out that judge. See what their record is. See what they're about and see when they're up for re-election because you might want to replace them.
Right, and here's another thing a lot of people don't realize. Do you know that there's not enough judges going around? So they have what they call counts. What do they call they're called commissioners.
Commissioners,
They're making commissioners. You don't have to have a legal background to be a judge.
And then half the time these judges get up there, they're like, all right, next case,
yeah,
okay.
They're just going through the motion.
I mean, I went to court recently with a friend of mine.
I know I did. But
and the judge, I kid you not, he was like, I'm excusing myself as my lunchtime. And he'd probably was there an hour and he was ready to go. And so they had to.
It started late and he's ready to go early. Yeah.
And so they had to go get another, call another judge to show up, so that way people didn't have to wait all day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that shows you the backlog in our justice system, our family support system, and so on. I mean, again, like you said, you got to show up to these elections. You got to show up.
And jury duty. I think in the story that you told, when you said you went to jury duty, where, you know, if you weren't there, the dude was going to be doing some time over something he more than likely didn't do, but because there's a lot of other jurors there not black.
Yeah, I was the only black person on the jury.
And they wanted to just write this brother ticket up the river.
We weren't in the deliberating room 10 minutes, and they were all against me. I said, well, based on what? And here's the kicker of the thing. There was a person that was in the apartment with them between the two people that had the altercation. You're going to convict the man, and this was the DA's problem. You got all these other witnesses who really don't matter because they weren't in the room.
Right.
But the one person that could really...
Oh, he don't count?
Yeah. Okay, because at this point, you're at a he say, she say.
Right.
There's a third person there, and you don't have that person as a witness here? And these people were so quick to convict. I said, wait a minute.
Hold on a minute.
If you don't have this person, how do you even know who is? You don't. So it's a hung jury.
That and black life don't matter to nobody but black people. And some people argue about that. I hate that when people do that, by the way. But here you are. Like I said, if you weren't there.
It was common sense.
Barb, what do you think? Oh, I think he's guilty. Well, okay, he's guilty. What's for lunch?
Right.
You know?
I mean, because to me, you throw all the other witnesses out. I only want the people that were in the room.
You know what I also suggest people watch is 12 Angry Men.
Yes.
That is an awesome flick.
Do you know that when 12 Angry Men came out, it was a dud at the box office?
Really?
Yes, it was not a blockbuster hit. It was not a blockbuster hit. It didn't become a blockbuster hit until years afterwards. And, of course, you had great stars in there, Jack Lemmon. Of course, my favorite, Henry Fonda.
He was the lead.
Lee J. Cobb,
you
know, from the Virginian. He was really great. A lot of great stars in there. And then that's a good movie to watch for jury thing. And another one with Henry Fonda, Gideon's Trumpet.
And another one, which I know a lot of people have seen, is To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes, very, very Brock Peters.
That is one of my favorite movies of all time.
But one thing with these themes is these are wrongly convicted people or assumed to be convicted people. They're so quick to convict. I mean, here are all the facts. Oh, throw everything out. And they still wanted to convict this guy.
Yeah, and it shows you with both of those how the legal system works in regards to somebody going to court. And honestly, with all of those movies that you just mentioned and I just mentioned, the one thing that was like the nail in the coffin that could have been for these people was the jury. Yeah. And so when you look at the jury, it's like, okay, they're all, no shade to white people, but they're all white, and they're deciding, because it's supposed to be jury of your peers, but guess what? If your peers don't show up, then you're getting what's best. Right. You're getting the next best thing, which is, and a lot of times, too, a lot of people don't realize, is the attorneys. Usually it's the prosecution, or both of them really.
And they play this game.
Okay, we need to get this jury. We know it's a black man, but we need to get this jury as white as can be. Right. But the defense is like, no, we need to get them black as can be.
And here's the funny thing about my selection. At the time, I was in the military. And, you know, I got called down, which I went down in my uniform. You know, I'm sitting in a jury pool. Now, what's the one thing that people know about military people? We're basically conservative.
True.
You know, we're trained.
Right.
So, you know, when they asked me the question, the jury, you know, do you believe? I said, well, I haven't seen all the evidence. That was my answer to everything.
Right.
I haven't seen all the evidence. I don't know.
Right.
You know, they asked you your background. So, I don't know. I was just like, hey, until I see the evidence, I don't know anything.
Right.
So I think by being a black man and an officer, they were thinking, oh, he's probably real conservative.
We're going to swing this nigga
we're going to put him over here.
Yeah.
And we got a definite conviction.
Right.
They can't say it's a racism thing. When I got up there and, I mean, the prosecutor threw everything at this person. And I said, okay, that's plausible. That's plausible.
However.
But when he put that one person in that room, and that person did not show up to tell us what transpired in that room, I said, we don't know anything.
But imagine how many people just, and you know, and a lot of people don't understand too, is being on a jury takes a lot of critical thinking because there's all this evidence that's going at you, and so you're hearing the most salacious stuff. Okay, well, they saw blood on the gloves.
Yeah,
you know,
and you're seeing horrific photos.
Yeah, but you're not thinking, like you said, that just that one little screw,
one thing
that's just turned the wrong way a little bit.
And the prosecutor wants you to look this way.
Exactly.
While the kill shot is going this way. They're hoping you're overlooking that one part.
So ultimately, you were able to sway the jury.
No, I didn't.
You went to a hung jury.
We went to a hung jury.
You was like, I'm gonna hang this motherfucker.
I just said, I looked at everybody and I said, how can you convict a person on he say?
You didn't hear
say?
all that. You didn't hear the key witness that could confirm or deny.
Right. If the key witness said, yeah, this nigga did it, it's a done deal.
Right.
But everybody else who's outside, we're done.
And you know the cold part about it is, he probably did all that he was accused of
doing.
But it's like, listen, you're not going to get me to fill in the blank that's not.
He probably did.
Yeah.
And what they do is, once it's over, the district attorney will come and talk to the jury and kind of say what we did. The defense will come and say, hey, what could we do better?
Yeah.
I have not been called to jury duty since.
There's like, oh, hell no. They'll strike him off the list.
Yeah, I mean, before it was like every year I would get my summons.
Watch me end up getting called because we're
talking about it.
Which is fine. Remember when I went to jury duty that one time I just happened to see you up there? Listen, I'm not a jury duty dodger per se, but I had gotten dropped off over there and I was going to walk back to my house, which is probably like 5-6 miles. I'm going to need to exercise after jury duty. This lady told me I couldn't bring my bag in.
You can bring your bag in, you can't be in shorts.
And I wasn't in shorts. But you can't bring your bag. You don't have to throw your stuff. I said, I got my tennis shoes, my gym stuff, all this stuff. Well, you got to throw them out. I said, ma'am, I'm not throwing my stuff out because I had nowhere to put them.
Exactly.
So they excused me.
Right.
They said jury duty served. Yeah. I'm not trying to say you do
that. But
we should though show
everybody should show up, especially when most of the criminal cases, not most of them, but a lot of the criminal cases are us. And we're talking about petty crime.
Remember, a jury of your peers, which means, and I'm not trying to dumb it down, but I need you sometimes. The jury of your friends. Yeah. That's what that means. The jury of people who think like you more than likely and who look like you.
And live in your neighborhood and understand some of the circumstances that might
who's going to be able to say, okay, I understand where this is going. Right. Unlike, Susie, who lives in the suburbs and who's like probably sees that shit on
TV.
And he's guilty.
Yeah. All rappers are thugs. Whatever.
It sounds like he did it to me.
Right. And it can be the difference between life in prison or
freedom.
Probation. Yeah,
right.
Freedom. So, very true statement. But the biggest thing I'm going to tell you, when you get stopped by the police, whatever, you have a right not to say anything. When the guy asks you for your ID, you say, just be quiet.
But this is the thing, though. That works when you're white, more than likely.
Yes.
Because we've seen all the videos of people who have...
Yeah, don't get shot.
Philando Castile was doing all of that. Yeah. The dude just shot him. So it's like, I get what you're saying. Yes, you should try. The end game is to stay alive.
Yeah, to stay alive. But what I'm saying is like, okay, like if you're in the interrogation room or whatever, once you're in custody or whatever your situation is, do not say anything until you get an attorney.
And it's sad that as black people, really, once you get pulled over, because I'm a woman and I would get nervous if I got pulled over. But I can imagine being a black man, you're getting pulled over. No longer are you thinking, and I don't know if y'all ever thought this is a black man, but are you thinking, okay, was it speeding? Did I not signal? You're not thinking those things. Now you're thinking, damn, am I going to die?
Right.
Is this Yahoo going to roll up on me and with his gun blasting before he even asked me my name?
But ask yourself this question. Are you going to give him a reason to reach for his gun?
But I mean,
I know.
But a lot of them come up to the car with the gun. So it's like, I don't even know why you stopped me.
But you're not going to help your situation by being belligerent to the guy.
I agree. I think at the end of the day, you need to stay alive.
Calm. Right. Stay calm.
But, how do you stay alive when that person, the cop, has it in their mind that, you even seen them on the, as they're following behind the person, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. Yeah. You've heard them say that kind of stuff. So, I'm, like I said, I'm not a black man, but I couldn't imagine being pulled over and thinking, oh my God, all I want to do is just get home. If I got to get the ticket, give me the ticket.
And don't fool yourself and think that body cam that guy got on is working. Don't fool yourself, because most likely if they're going to do something to you, that body cam is not working.
And it's funny because Deanna was telling me she saw a video of a cop that planted drugs, and he thought his body cam was off.
Right, and he messed that up.
But again, like I was telling her, that's not nothing new. They've been the Rampart division, that got blown wide open with all of that.
A lot of people don't know that. Well, a lot of people that know this. I live in California. I walk around with a body cam, and in my car, my mirror is a dash cam mirror. And because, like I said, it's going to be your word against that officer.
Right.
And,
if you're going to do me, it's going to be on this face.
and
Right.
and I'm going to see everything.
Right.
Know? So, I want my mama to know how I died.
Right.
Whatever the deal is. So, but your biggest defense is to remain silent. And here's what they do, especially when you're in custody. This is why I keep saying you thugs and thugettes, and you want to be thugs and thugettes and my Ma Barkers.
Ma, really?
Yeah, Ma Barkers.
Way back.
Way back. All you guys that are trying to live that life, the minute they get you in the interrogation room, you see it on all the videos all the time on YouTube. They say, "Well, what happened?" And then you start, "I want a lawyer." And at that point,
it has to stop.
It has to stop. They have to go out the room, and it's a done deal.
Take me in custody if you have to do, but you cannot keep interrogating.
Right, exactly.
But people aren't educated. They don't know those things.
But wait, how do you not know that, but you know the drug game? You know the thug game. See, that's what kills me.
But the crazy part is a lot of those people do know that.
Right.
They do
know. The real thugs.
Right. Yeah. But a lot of people just don't. Again, we talk about this all the time, especially when we were campaigning and stuff. There's that appeal to authority. Oh, well, if a detective is asking this question, I must have to answer. If the doctor is telling me that I'm telling him that my left arm is hurting, but he's saying, no, it's your right. Oh, he must be right because he's a doctor.
That tremor in my ear.
So we have to, and this is what's a lost art, I think, among us and our age group and the people that we have raised and are raising is the art of critical thinking. We don't,
there is a college course on it. But
you ever talk to some people and you're like, even online on Facebook or whatever, and people say the silliest things, you're like,
well, yeah, just read some of the comments below, and that'll tell you a lot right there.
Yeah,
it's like, did you watch the video? Did you hear what we said?
But even with the Cyntoia Brown thing, somebody went on with the hashtag, oh, this is effed up how they're doing her.
Yeah, they don't know the whole.
And I said, well, it would behoove you to go do some research, because, a lot of what, found her guilty was her own testimony. And this fool gonna talk about, well, prosecutions, their job is to make it look bad. And I'm like,
yeah,
that's true, but I just said go do your research.
Right.
But you're so damn lazy. You won't even go do your research because Rihanna done told your black ass that this girl is, an innocent victim. That now you're gonna run away with the hashtag. Now I just told you to do your research,
right?
Or not? I don't care,
right?
But don't get on here spreading something that's not true. Now, again, I'm not saying anything bad about the girl. I think she's a victim in some respects on the stuff that's happened to her. But at the end of the day, she killed a man. He wasn't innocent,
right?
Because he picked up a child. But she wasn't. She didn't have. The way people were telling us, like she got snatched off the streets. She was, held in captivity, and she freed
heroin.
That's the story, people. And it's like, listen, I honestly don't think the little girl. I think she's done enough time. She's not a little anymore. She's almost 30.
Yeah. Like I said, I believe she has to do some time, but I'm gonna go on record. There's no child that is a throwaway, as far as I'm concerned.
And I agree with you on that one. And so, but then there's a lot of people, and you know who they are, who obviously says that she deserved it. She should never get out. But it's easy to say that about us because, and this is where I'm going to talk about white people a little bit. A lot of white people
earn that hate, D. Earn that hate.
A lot of white people don't see value in black life. You go on a lot of these comments sections on these posts on Facebook and stuff.
They dog us out.
Oh my God! Even to the tune of I know you don't want to talk about LeVar, but they should have thrown away the key, or they should have got all. They should have chopped their hands off, and they should have did all this and that. But yeah, when Otto Warmbier came back, and he was over there. Oh my God, he just stole the flag. Oh, they shouldn't do this to him. Oh, what about we need to never bite no Koreans? I've seen it all.
Well, like I've told you, even in the military, they'd send me to survival schools. Being an air crew member, and you're flying in the airplane. They told me specifically that if my plane got shot down, more than likely I will be killed on the spot. But Opie Cunningham, he has value as a hostage because he's Opie Cunningham.
Right.
Unless I'm Colin Powell's son or somebody famous, I have no value. Black people have no value as hostages.
Right. Well, I don't have an argument with that at all. But I just, because we do have control over the things we do in our community, whether we know it or not. I know that every time we try to build some shit up, white people come and destroy it. So
if we don't do it ourselves,
right? Or even just speaking with Black Wall Street and all the other communities that we had. And you know, it's a beautiful thing too. Like I said, I was in LA with my father all of Monday, and I just felt like I was in heaven. Because we live in Riverside, Inland Empire. You don't see a lot of black businesses, but in LA there are a lot of black businesses. So it's like
African owned,
black people. You know, it's a beautiful thing to see that, and I think we need to get out and see that more often.
Well, I always tell people on all my travels, go to some of these countries that are mostly black countries, and it's a weird feeling when you see everything that is owned,
right?
Government, everything, black,
right?
I mean, it's just a weird feeling because you're not used to that.
Well, yeah. Again, you know, just historically speaking, we had that before we were transported over here through the Middle Passage, the slave trade. We had all of that, and so especially to us, we're descendants of slaves, but we don't know that. I mean, hell, we thought it was a giant feat that we had a black president.
Right. Which,
you know,
a black president didn't do a damn thing
right,
for
but
us.
we thought that was just, we could have, you know, that was it. We didn't, if they never did nothing else for us, you know, we'll be cool with a black president. But like you said, in places in Africa, shit, it's black presidents, black governors, black this,
emperors,
black that.
dictators,
right.
all that.
Everything's black, and so that's not foreign to them. It's just foreign to us.
Right. But, you know, make a long story short about this segment, I think it's a very important segment because the show is about loving the skin they're in. For you young ladies, I am not going to stress it more so than ever. When you deal with the thug, you're going to do some time. Somewhere down the line, if you don't do the time, your children are going to do the time. We've got to break the cycle. There is nothing wrong with getting you with a man that's going to take care of you. Yeah, he's an L7. But who's running the world right now? L7s. You know, it's
but again, just like you said, because we are talking about loving the skin I'm in, I'm just speaking from a mother's point of view. Mothers and, you know, ladies, I know a lot of women are receptive to doing better, and you know, there's a lot of women who are doing a good job of raising their children. But we have to take it a step further. And you know, like I said, my daughter's be 25 at the end of this year. When she turned,
fine, just like her aunt
and her mama.
Yeah. When she get it from her mom.
I'm just playing. So, but anyway, when she turned 18, I didn't say, "Girl, shit, you on your own. Ooh, I can go and do me now." I didn't do that to her. You know, she's not a child, but she's still my daughter. And am I responsible for her? No, but I'm going to be.
You constantly teach her things.
I have to, and so but that starts from the